Hi everyone, this is Tabitha with Haystack Creation, and I thought I'd bring you guys along today because I'm going to be making a Cascade journal spot, which can also be you can use it for some pockets also. So here it is. This is the one we'll be making today. Of course, I'm going to do a different, little theme here. But when you undo it, you open it up and there's a journaling spot. You open up here, journal spot. When you open up your little flap here, there's a journal spot. So when it lays on your page, it will give you extra journaling room. Plus, I didn't do anything to the back side because I'm going to be gluing it down. And whenever I glue it down, I'm only going to be gluing on the three sides, just, right in here. That way I have a pocket, right here that I can use, put a little cute tag with a little frilly thing on it. And then these here, like little sediments and stuff, little word sayings, I can put, I can like tuck them in right there. So that's where your tuck's coming in, and that's where your pocket's coming in. And this is where, when you flip it open, that's your extra journaling room. I just love this idea, and here we go. Let's get started. Just going to take your cardstock. And where did there it is. Got to get my little cutter here. And I'm going to give you guys the measurements that I used. Of course, you can cut them any size you want, I guess. But for me, this was perfect to fit on my on my journaling in my book. So this is the measurements I used. I hardly ever measure, really. I do, but this, to get it going, I've got to. So I'm going to take a regular piece of paper, and I need a 3 by 10 on my first sheet. So I'm going to go 3 inches wide, and I'm going to go 10 inches long. So let's get this some 10-inch long. Okay, so there's that piece. Then I'm going to need to get a 3 by 6 1/4, or no, take it back, 3 by 6 3/4. So I need another 3-inch piece. I'm going to need 3 pieces. So this is my second piece. So there's 3 inches, and then I need 6 3/4. So 6 3/4 right here. So there's that one. So there's my second piece. My last piece is it's getting shorter. So now I'm going to have to get a new piece of cardstock. And on this piece, I'm going to use 3 by 4 1/2. So let me get my 3. So there's my 3. And now I need a 4 1/2. 4 1/2. And there's 4 1/2. Okay, now I'm going to use my scoreboard. You don't have to use a scoreboard. You can just measure it out and score it that way if you want to. But for me, it's just a little easier. And I've got this little bitty scoreboard. Isn't she cute? I just love it. Okay, enough of that. But, okay, so on our 3 to 10 piece, we need to make this first flip, the flip down. This is a piece of scrap paper, but I'm going to cover that up. So I'm just doing this for the video purposes. But so don't look at the back side. The front side, I'm going to have to turn it this way because I want my flips to go this way. And all this is going to be covered. So anyway, enough jibber jabber babble. But anyway, I need to make this first little fold 2 inches. So I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to go to my 2-inch mark, and I'm going to score me a line. Okay, so we got that. And now I need to fold it and go ahead and use my bone folder and just kind of smush her down. So there's my first fold. Okay. Then on the opposite end, I need to fold it up. It needs to go, I need to score it at 1 inch. And then I'm going to go over 1/8 of an inch. Oops, kind of put a little hole there. Then I'm going to go over to the 1/8 inch mark and do another line. So I went over 1 inch, and then I go over 1/8 of an inch extra. So what that's gonna do is it's going to form our little bottom part. See that little bottom part? It's forming that right there. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it and get it to where it does its little thing that it's supposed to do there. So now you can see there's our little bend. See? So there's our first little section right there. So we'll put that one to the side. Now we need to move over to the 3 6 3/4 piece. And we're going to do basically the same, except we're not going to do the bottom part of it. All I'm going to do is turn it, and I am going to go over 2 inches and score this one. And we're going to fold him down. Put him in there like that. And that's going to go there. And put that up there. Now we need to do our last piece, and our last piece is the same thing. We are going to put it down, and we're going to score it at the 2-inch mark. Right there. And we can get rid of this now. Move that away. And let's fold this. And let's go ahead and use our bone folder. Now, whenever you put it together, you're going to have your bottom piece. This piece is going to tuck in here, and you're going to butt them together. And then this piece is going to go here, and you're going to butt it together. And there's where it's going to work. Okay? So, now we've got to go ahead and decorate the inside part. We need to put something down. The only place I got to do it is I don't need to do there for that bottom piece because we're covering up some of this. So we need there and there. So I need to make sure I'm doing enough to cover each of this section here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some paper down all the way on it. It'll be easier that way, I do think. So what I'm going to use is, I'm just going to go ahead and use this piece of paper here. This is where I printed out the Romantica Arts Romantic Rose, and I had some left over that I haven't used. So I'm going to use this for the inside, and I'm just going to use my glue stick. And easy to do this is, for me, I'm not going to measure it. Like I said, I don't like to measure, but I need all of this to be covered up, so I might as well just put glue down on all of it and slap it on there. This makes a cute little spot for your journal page. Okay, so we've got some good glue on there. Now I'm just going to put this down, and we're just going to make sure it all gets covered up. Use my bone folder and smush it down really good. And flip it over and cut it off. Where did my scissors go? And cut it off. I'm not cutting straight, am I? So, we got this one cut. Now we just got to go back and fold it over good again to where our creases. So make sure that folds over good. And let's make sure our creases get good here all over again. So just use your bone folder and go over your little crease lines again. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so now we need to do the insides to each one of these. Okay, so I still got some of this left over, so I'm going to continue with this piece of paper here instead of wasting it. And you're doing, this is the inside part you're doing. So where you're flapped over, this is, we're doing the inside part. So see, you can use your scraps to do this because I'm using my scraps. I accidentally had printed on some cardstock and I shouldn't have. So I've got some extras. And let's put this down here. And use the bone folder to get it all nice and smushed on there. And let's cut this one off. Cut it off. Okay, fold this down, give it a little squish. I mean, you wouldn't have to really do the whole sheet, but it's just easier, I guess, so, because you're covering it up. But whenever you flip it open, there's your journaling spot. See? That's going to flip open, and that's your journaling spot. So anyway, you can do it however you want, but this is the way I'm doing it. And I just found it easier just to go ahead and do the whole thing than having to sit and measure each little section. I hate to measure. And let's get this one. It's gonna fit. Is it gonna fit? I think, let's see, is this my flap this way? So I think I'm just going to put it right there. And hey, that worked. I did it. I got it all on there. Okay. Let's cut this. Let's get this one all trimmed up and get it scored. It's a little upside down, but no, it's not, because when you flip it up. Okay, so there. So now we've got our base done, because whenever you take your pieces, you got your long piece, you got this piece, and you're going to butt it up to there. Then you're going to take this piece and you're going to butt it up to here. See that? So that way when you open it, boom, there's your tuck spot. There's a tuck spot. And then, boop, there's a tuck spot. Okay. Yeah, there's a tuck spot. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and get them glued down to where they need to go. And then, well, let's go ahead and do our little lips. Now with the lips, with these little flaps here, you want them to all kind of run together, like go together. Like, so if you've got one pattern, whenever you cut them like this, it will be like your one little pattern. And the easiest way to do that is each one of these are 2 inches. Okay, so we got 6 inches here. So just remember that. Each one of these are 2 inches, so we got 6 inches. So whatever we use, we got to use 6 inches of. And I think I am going to use this right here. And it's another one of those out of that kit, the Romantica Arts, the Romantic Rose Junk Journal kit. And I am going to use this one because it looks like little wood grains. I don't know how well you can see it, but I thought that was really cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my cutter and I'm going to cut me out 6 inches of this. So let me cut me out 6 inches. And let me just trim this up first. Trim this end up first. Get in there. Get that trimmed up. Now let me go. I want to go that way. So I've got to go 3 inches because I know that's 3 inches wide. So I've got to go 3 inches. And this is the sheet that we're going to be using. And now I just need to go 6 inches. Well, I want that trimmed off. There. Now trim this off. There we go. Trim that off. Okay, so now I want to go 6 inches to the 6 inch mark. And it's going to rip it. My steely cutter needs a new blade. Okay, try it again. That's okay. I got a way to fix that rip. So we got 6 inches. And now I need 3 2-inches. So 2 inch, 2 inch, and 2 inch. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go 2 inches. So there's the first 2 inch. That way you can like piece them together like a little puzzle. And 2 inch. And that leaves me 2 inches. So when we do it, this is the way we're going to go with it. Okay? I hope that made sense. Okay, so now what I want to do is, this is the order that I cut them. So I need to go the biggest one, and then I need to put them on there like that. So I'm just going to get my other set of glue here, and we are going to glue them on. This comes out very slow. So I want to glue this on. So there's one. This is the second one, so I'm going to glue it on here. And this is what it gave me. It looks like it hadn't been cut yet, kind of look. And then let's put this one on. So there's that piece. Now let's do this piece. Get it on there real good. Now let's glue this one on. And this one here, I tore it a little bit whenever I cut it, but that's okay. We'll fix that with some ink. It won't matter. Okay, so now look. So whenever you put them up here, you line up your little pattern. See how it's lining up? The little lines there. And you got this right here. Okay? So now, there's that. I've left this one blank because I'm not going to put this pattern on here. I want to do like the book page look. So we've got that right there. So let's go ahead and get these glued down. That way we can move on to doing the rest of it. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of the second piece, the piece that we cut 3 and 6 3/4. I'm going to put that on there. And when I do it, I put it on the back of it, and I am going to put it right up against the back. Push that lid down and put it right up to it. I mean, just right up to it. Like you can't even hardly tell there was a, a line. So it's going to go right there. That piece right there kind of popped up. So let's get some more glue on that. There. Okay. So there's that. So now, when you flip it open, boom, there you go. See? And it doesn't look like it's, see how it's butted up against this one? They're like really close together. This here, I'm gonna have to cut that off. But anyway, we'll move on. Let's move on. Now let's do the same to this one. Put you some glue on the back of it. And we're gonna butt it up right against that one. Right there. Butt it up right against it. And then go back and trim up. Okay, so we got that right up against it. Get your bone folder, kind of squish it all down real good. Okay, so now when we go to close it, there we go right here. Okay, see how it does? And we're going to have a string that's going to go on it. So it's going to hold down our little flaps. Some glue on there. I'll go ahead and, where I was off a little bit, I'm going to trim some of this off here. Won't hurt nothing. So now we're even. So there we go. So we got that. Now on this little flap here, I'm going to put me some book pages. So let me find some book pages. I know I got some around here somewhere. Yeah, here's some. We'll use this. And all I'm going to do is it's going to flap up this way. So I'm going to turn it like this, and I am going to take my glue stick and glue on it and add my little book page to it and cut around it. So cut around it. Oh yeah. Okay. So there's our little flap now. See? That flapped up there. And we'll go back and we'll ink after we're here in just a minute. That way this bottom part's not going to be white. We're going to ink it. So we got that on there. Now, while my glue's drying just a little bit, I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to make my button. My little button here. And to do that, I'm going to take 3 pieces of book page, because that's the book page. And I need my little hole puncher. Where's my little hole thing? There it is. Not my whole thing, but my little circle. 1-inch circle is what I'm going to use. So let's put that in there and get me, I need at least 3. Let me get 3. That way I got 3 1-inches. Well, get out. Okay. So I got me 3 1-inches. 3 1-inch circles. And this one here looks like it'll be a good one for the top. So I'm going to put them together. And that's how I'm going to glue them. I'm going to glue them all 3 together. Maybe that can go out of the way. So let's glue them together. This one here didn't get all good and round on me. So we got that glued on there. Now let's put this one on there. That kind of gives it a little stiffer. Kind of makes it a little stiffer. Let's glue that on there. Okay, and that's what's going to give us our little button. Our little button. You know what? Okay, so I got 3 there. You should have probably, don't do 3 book pages. And let's back up. Don't do 3 book page rounds. You're going to need a card. So I would do, you can do a piece of cardstock. Yeah. Y'all probably saw that when I did it and like, what's that lady doing? Now, there it goes. So I'm just going to take a piece of cardstock. Now I'm going to put it on there, but I think I put, let me look at that one. I put 2 pieces of cardstock on that one and a piece of book page. That's what I did. So I would do 2 cardstocks, 1 book page. Ay, ay, ay. So do it that way. I'm just going to go ahead and put these 3 down. It's not going to hurt anything. It'll just be a little thicker, but that's okay. Okay. And what I want to do now is I'm just going to find the center of my button, of my little circle there. I'm going to find the center, and I'm going to make a little mark to where I want to do my hole punch. And I'm going to get my hole puncher, which I got the Crocodile Big Bite, and I am going to punch on the smallest hole, which is 1/8 on this thing. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to make my little center. So there's my center right there. Okay. Now I'm going to put, I want a little bit of something here to kind of break up the words. like on this one, I added just a piece of ledger paper. So I think I'm going to do that on that too, if I can find some ledger paper. If I can find a piece. If I clean out my scrap bin, I can probably find all kinds of stuff. But I haven't done that either. I've got so many scraps that I could be here a year working out of just my scrap bin. Oh, here's some ledger paper. I found some. I found a piece. So I'm just going to take a piece of it. See how big we need it. And I'm going to tear it down to be about the size that I want. And that is what I'm going to use to glue right here. I'm going to get my ink, and I want to distress a little bit. So I'm going to use walnut stain. It's the color I'm going to distress with. And let's distress this. Where did it go? There it is. I don't want to lose it. I had trouble finding it to begin with. But okay, I'm going to distress some of it. And then, before we put our little button thing on, okay, so let's get some glue on it, and let's glue it down to go right there. Okay, so we got that on there. Now I need to find my middle. Where's my pencil? I am going to put my button on here, find where I want to place it, and I'm going to make the center button color in that little hoe, and then that way I know that that's where I'm going to hole punch. But I need to get some ink around this button, or this little tab that I made. Get it on there real good. Okay, let me get a brad. I didn't get any brads out. And we're going to use a little brad, and we are going to put it in the middle like that. Any brad. This is just the one I grabbed out. And we got to poke our hoe tab. Okay, so let's put our little hoe into this. There we go. There's a hoe. Put this in there. And then put our little button on. Close our little brad. And you could have covered that up, but it's no big deal for me. I mean, it's just the little flap, so I'm not really worried much about it. But so far, isn't that cute? Got our writing space on each little thing. Oh, yeah, now we got to get our ribbon. But I want to ink up some more of this first. So you can speed ahead, but I need to ink it real quick. So I'm going to ink some of this on the edge. And instead of making you guys watch me do this, I'm going to pause the video, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got it all inked, and I'm back. So here's what it's going to look like after it's inked. I inked all around our edges. I did not ink in between here because I didn't want it to divide out real good. I want it to look like it was one piece of paper when it's laying in your journal. And that way it's like a little hidden cascade. You know, it's like the Cascade. You journal here, you'll flip it up in your journal there, and you'll flip it up in your journal there. See? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to take a piece of sari silk, and I want little wrinkles in it. So let me get a little bit of wrinkles going here. And I'm going to glue it on the back. And with this, I think I'm going to use some of my fabric taco to probably do a little bit better. But I want to put a little bit of color on this. I don't want it just, this is like a light pink. And since this is kind of like the grungy, kind of like darker wood look kind of grain. I want some color on my little tag here, or my little, yeah, sorry, silk ribbon. So let's get a little bit of brown on it, kind of tone down some of that pink. There we go. Cute. I don't know if you can tell, but it's got some brown on it now. It looks really good in person. My camera, my lighting is not so good. But okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it over, and you could go ahead and after you put your string on, you could go ahead and decorate this. That way you just have a little tuck, and you can just tuck this in a pocket or whatever. You don't have to glue it on your page. But I am not going to do that. I am just putting my ribbon on, because mine, it will be glued to a page. I will glue mine down to a page. So I want that option. Let's get some glue on here. Slow glue, I guess. Well, dot. Taking forever. Okay, so now I just want to glue down my little ribbon. You want to make sure you put enough glue to where it glues good, because you don't want it to pull off. So we got that on there, and like right now would be the perfect time to go and put your other piece of paper. That way, whenever you could put a piece of paper, you know, coffee stain paper, or papers with lines, or you know, solid color, or whatever color you wanted to put on the back, and then I have it as a little tuck in a pocket, and then they have a journaling spot here, and then when it cascades open, they got journaling spot there. That's another good way. But like I said, mine, I'm going to use it, I'm just going to glue it down on the page, just like that. But it's the cutest thing ever. Now all you got to do is you want to make sure you don't pull it real tight. You just want to pull it enough to where it goes under your, you know, your little button you made. Or if you used a regular button, whatever you use for your little closure. And there you go. And you got that, and I'm going to cut it off just a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more brown since I cut it off. A little bit more brown on it. Get on my finger there. So see, there you go. You could decorate it up more. Put you some things. You could put you a little something another, you know, on this little ribbon. You know, maybe a little flower or something on it. Or leave it like that. Stamp you some little words on it, you know. Even you could use, you know, you wouldn't have to use the sari silk. Use you a piece of fabric and have it stamped, or a real pretty piece of fabric, you know, to go down. Just as long as it fits under your little whatever clasp you got. But there you guys go. Is that not the cutest little thing ever? I mean, look at that. Perfect. I mean, great to, you know, especially, you know, you're doing a lot on your journal pages and you have nowhere to write. Put this down in a pocket, and boom, they can flip this out and have little hidden messages and, you know, things like that. But, and tuck little things in, you know, on the side, right here on each of the little sides, like a little piece of paper folded up and tucked in. Hey, there you go. But anyway, this is it, guys. This was the Cascade journaling tuck it spot for a journal that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that this gives inspiration. And as always, guys, you guys have happy crafting. Okay? I will talk to you later, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.